Hi everyone. So the first slot test is over. Sazil is just coming back from
Hello
the exam.
everyone. I should,
Can you quickly give me your impressions on how the test was?
Hi Shivku, can you hear me?
Yes, has gone.
I don't know if you can hear me, Shivku.
Yeah, I can hear you. Am I
Shivku,
not
can you hear me now? Okay, great. So I think I'm in a bad patch of network because my center is very far away, but I will try to give you the entire idea about what happened. So let me start with verb. First of all, the test was not a difficult one overall, in my opinion. It was not a difficult one. We can definitely call it a moderate one overall. If I go by sections, if I go by the surprises, there were no major surprises. We were expecting 22 questions in DILR, so there were 22 questions in DILR. Apart from that, there were no para jumble questions. There were only para summary, para completion, and out of context questions. That is odd one out questions. So this is what there was, and there were number of MCQ questions was higher. So there were about 20 about me. There were exactly 20 MCQ questions, two in verbal, that is out of context questions, 10 in DILR, and 8 in quant. So there were that makes it 20 non MCQ questions, TETA questions. So that was it. And अगर verbal से शुरू करूं मैं तो 4 RCs, 4 questions each as expected. uh, it ranged, topics ranged a lot from behavioral economics एक था, दूसरा था HBO and movies के ऊपर के movies कैसे पुराने जमाने में एक they used to be shown on small screens, so they used to be a short lived one, but now it stays for a longer time. उसके ऊपर एक था bandicoot पे, which are the marsupial rats in Australia, Australian mainland. So उसके ऊपर एक था, उसका preservation and उसका extinction के ऊपर था. uh, and the fourth one was craftsmanship and crafting skills. Craftsman skills जो होती हैं उसमें how management ethos, management studies don't apply. So that is what the 4 topics were about. इसमें से दो मुझे easy to moderate लगे, behavioral economics वाला and bandicoots वाला. But HBO वाला भी reading easy था, the films वाला was a good read, but the questions were confusing in terms of the options. So I couldn't attempt the fourth one. I couldn't reach there because I was also noting down. Apart from the summaries were easy to moderate. दो easy थी, एक moderate level की थी, जहाँ पे दो options close थे इसलिए moderate, because I got confused between two options. They were very close. And para completion was, all three of them were doable. All three of them were doable. And out of context was as expected, a moderate to difficult level. So this is how it was. This was about verbal.
No, just
Coming
hold
to
on.
yeah,
Just hold on. So you had, out of the 8 questions in verbal, we had para summaries and para completion. That's it. Is it?
I'm sorry if I lost you for a while. I said 3 summary, 3 para completion, and 2 out of context questions. That's how it made the 8 ka number.
Okay, odd one out. Fine. Okay. So we didn't have parajumbles. Guys, we didn't have parajumbles. Maybe I think it's a good thing for many of you.
Yeah,
Okay. So LRDI was 5 sets, right? 2 into 5 plus 3 into 4.
right, exactly. Two four, दो 4 question वाले और 3 5 question वाले, 5 sets total. Yes.
And how many of these you thought were doable?
In my opinion, 3 were doable. 3 were doable completely. 2 were time consuming, and I observed a pattern, शिवको, कि जो 5 वाले questions थे वो मुझे complex वाले लग रहे थे. However, I suggest that students don't go with a mindset completely कि 5 वाले difficulty होंगे, but 4 वाले तीनों easy थे, उसमें से 2 बहुत easy थे.
ठीक है. So
One was
guys, I think
calculated.
जो DI का जो fear है, scare है, I think that's something that you can take off. Go and enjoy yourself. This paper is far easier than what it was last year. DI, far easier
Shipu,
than what it
in
was
fact,
last year.
just to add that there were two questions जो तो ऐसे हो गए कि मेरे पास almost 12-13 मिनट बची थी and I was done with two full sets, which has not happened before.
Correct.
Those kind of
Okay.
two sets. It was all about a game of selection by the way. So जो selection कर रहा है और सही कर रहा है उसका फायदा है. तो selection करना is what
तो
I suggest.
तुम्हारा तुम्हारा पॉइंट था कि वो जो तीनों चार चार क्वेश्चन वाले थे थोड़ा शायद लग रहे थे आसान है और द अदर टू फाइव क्वेश्चन वंस वर लिटिल मोर
Doable थे. हाँ, yes, I felt so, yes. उसमें एक 5 क्वेश्चन वाला था जो टू मेनी पैरामीटर्स रामिया आमिया वाला एक क्वेश्चन था, वो उसमें पैरामीटर्स बहुत सारे दिखे तो मैंने वो पढ़ा ही नहीं है. आई लेट इट गो बिकॉज व्हेन आई सॉ टू मेनी पैरामीटर्स मैंने बोला नो यू नो सेंस वेस्टिंग टाइम.
So guys, the general feedback is that the DI was much easier than what was anticipated, and that kind of made a lot of people attempt two questions for two sets for sure, and maybe some of them have done the three, and the absolutely very good ones have done more than three sets. Okay, so let's
Yes.
go to quant.
Yes. So quant may the surprise, as I said before, is 8 and non-MCQs. So there was a good number of non-MCQs, Tita questions. Some surprisingly, mera 5 out of the 8 MCQs were the last 5 questions in my set. I don't know if it is shuffled this time, but mere last 5 Tita the. So that is how it was, and I could easily do even with writing or noting everything down and sort of taking it back for the students. Even then I could do 9-10 questions very easily, not being a quant faculty primarily.
Hmm. So,
So
uh,
and I
at
think
least
I've done it fairly accurately. जो
okay,
मैंने
the
किया है.
significant part of it was arithmetic, right?
Yeah, arithmetic was there. Geometry का वही expected 2-3 questions थे. I haven't been able to take down the breakdown.
Yeah.
So I think
I've taken a little feedback from other mentors. So, guys, about 10 questions of arithmetic are there, about 6 odd questions of algebra, about three questions of geometry, and numbers about 2 questions, and I think 1 question of PNC. Broadly, this is what it is. From slot to slot, it will change a little bit, but it will more or less gravitate towards these numbers. So, arithmetic heavy hai, quant, I think that should probably ease out a lot of your fears. So just go.
Shivku, just to add, nothing was very unexpected in quant also. So ऐसा अनएक्सपेक्टेड सा कुछ भी नहीं था कि जहाँ सरप्राइज बहुत ज्यादा आ गई हो. एक दो क्वेश्चन में मुझे लगा कि दे डोंट आस्क दोस काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चंस, बट आई थिंक दैट वाज ओनली 1 or 2 that we can easily leave and move on and get select questions.
So, for example, I spoke to Gautam Agarwal, one of our mentors, who when he has got some 900 percentile passed. He said कि सर 3-4 क्वेश्चंस के अलावा बाकी कोई भी क्वेश्चन ऐसे नहीं था कि बहुत ही डिफिकल्ट है, राइट? एंड 8 to 9 questions are very easy, straightforward, not much to think. So I think the above average or people who are looking at a 99 percentile, I think your attempts would be probably around 15 marks, right? 15 questions, 99, high 99s, right? I think that's something that you should look at. Definitely much easier than last year's CAT.
आई थिंक इट वाज मच इजियर एंड मैनेजेबल. लोग जो अज्यूम कर रहे थे ना, जो रैंडम डिस्कशंस ऑन कैलकाटा का पेपर होगा क्या होगा, आई थिंक ऑल ऑफ दैट इज पुट टू रेस्ट इन माय ओपिनियन, and slightly cut off might go up also in that sense because it was easier.
Okay, so verbal में एक चीज बताओ कि how was I mean, did you have many of those except for वाला questions?
not many. मैंने जो किए उसमें 2 क्वेश्चंस मैंने डील किए थे जो आई लेफ्ट 1 RC, so the remaining 3 RCs में I think I saw 2 questions of that sort, so not many except questions there.
Okay, did you try the scratch pad?
I did for a while, but it is not comfortable है, लेकिन बहुत मजा नहीं आएगा उसमें because mouse से लिखना is not a very comfortable thing to do.
But they've given you a rough sheet.
But rough sheets were there and pen was there, so pen and rough sheets was good enough. So अपना कुछ change नहीं होता in that sense.
ठीक है, ठीक है, ठीक है.
Maybe they have cushioned the transition for a couple of years. Maybe they might have done that before they switch to something else.
Okay. Anything else that you find as like notable that students should know? In fact, मैं तो
आई
बोलूँगा कि
थिंक
बच्चे
मुझे मुझे
पूछना.
मुझे आज जो मैं अगर कैट के क्वेश्चन के अलावा बात करूं तो द एक्सपीरियंस वाज ओवरऑल गुड द कंप्यूटर वाज वर्किंग नाइस एंड एवरीथिंग वाज वेरी स्मूथ द बायोमेट्रिक वाज स्मूथ हाउएवर इनिशियली ऐसा होता है और ये लास्ट ईयर भी मैंने देखा था कि वीएआरसी जब सेक्शन चालू होता है तब द इन्विजिलेटर्स एंड ऑल ऑफ देम आर इन अ हसल कि ये करना है वो करना है अटेंडेंस साइन करनी है कभी कभी आवाज भी करते हैं वो लोग एक दूसरे से बात करने के टाइम पे एंड दैट इज अ डिस्टर्बिंग फैक्टर बट आई स्टूडेंट शुड नॉट टेक इट टू हार्ट एंड बहुत ज्यादा सी उसको माइंड नहीं करना है प्यार से बोल देना है उनको कि प्लीज डोंट डिस्टर्ब अस ये बोल सकते हो आप मैंने भी आज एक्सपेरिमेंट किया मैं हर साल ये ट्राई करता हूँ और वो लोग सुनते हैं कि हाँ ठीक है सो यू हैव टू जस्ट might have to do that so that don't get perturbed by it.
Yeah. Sajil, I think one of our mocks, I think one of our extra DI sets that we gave, right, post the sample paper, one of them has 3x4 plus 2x5. Right? I hope students did to. However, I think the saving grace, I believe, is that paper was easy, right? And then this seems to be across all the three sections. So I think, but it's a double-edged sword. I think all of you who are watching must remember that don't take it, too much to heart, saying don't relax, right? And you got to be at your best. But it's definitely a good thing to know that paper is not so scary as what the last year's paper was.
Yes, it was not. It was not. And verbal was more or less the way it is. जैसा आता है 2 साल से verbal वही था और DILR इतना difficult नहीं था. Rather, you could do some questions because there were multiple sets, 5 sets to select from, like we were expecting. And yes, Shivku, those of the students who have done those DI sectionals ना, उनको थोड़ा सा idea रहेगा क्या करना है. जिन्होंने नहीं भी किया है, load मत लो. Load बिल्कुल मत लो because you have more chances of selection from the given sets. 4 की जगह 5. So yeah.
So guys who are joined in a little late, I think some people are there. I'm just kind of repeating. Broadly, the paper is easier than what it was. Broadly, it is easier than what it was. Okay, and in each of the sections, right? Verbal, you didn't have parajumbles. Instead, you had para completion. Then you had. So let me kind of.
Yeah, let's take
so you can see this. This is how it is, right? 4 passages, 4 questions, 3 para summary, 3 para completion, 2 odd one out, right? This is what it is. So what is the change here? You didn't have parajumbles. Paper in general was easy. And I think 3 out of the 4 passages were definitely readable. One was a slightly more dense. DILR, the greatest relief for all of you, right? If last year's DILR was 10, I think this probably will be around 7 or 8, 7.5 or 8. There are 5 sets, 3 sets of 4 questions each, and 2 sets of 5 questions. However, there seems to be more MCQs this year in DILR than it was last year. Okay, now two of these sets were very easy. Most probably, I think most of you, given enough prep, would be able to crack it. And one was, I think, 2 of the the 5 question ones were probably on the tougher side, right? I think one was pretty tough, but one of them was moderate difficult, and the third 4 question set was probably on the moderate level. So I think 2 sets is, I think, probably most of you will be able to do if you have chosen the right sets. Quant was also easier than last year. So we can only peg with last year. And I think last year, agar kisi ne 12 attempt kiya ho, shayad is saal, his or her attempt might be somewhere around 16 or 17. So which means that the level of difficulty has definitely gone up, down.
शिवको,
Yes, Azim.
just one thing to add, शिवको. बेसिकली DILR में मुझे ऐसा लगा कि सिंस 5 सेट्स में से जो दो सेट मैंने बोला वेरी इजी, इजी टू वेरी इजी, इफ यू पिक देम राइट ना, तो आपका बेसिकली मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है कि थर्ड सेट में घुसना बनता है. सो 2 सेट्स तो कम से कम हो ही जाएंगे इफ यू सिलेक्ट इट राइट. Third one might be the deciding factor for the higher percentiles, is very clear.
Correct.
I will not be surprised if some students will be able to do all three completely and maybe try the fourth one on the higher percentile. So that is the take. And yeah,
Yes,
and
some
verbal.
people who would have done 2 sets in the last year's test probably will definitely do 3 and maybe be able to attempt a little bit of the fourth one. That is this what I've got from people who have done well in DI last year.
Also verbal में 14 to 16 मैंने जो बोला डुएबल है, which is also mentioned in the PPT. मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है कि 14 to 16 से ज्यादा भी हो सकते हैं. ऑफ कोर्स ये स्टूडेंट्स का कंसिडरेशन करके 14 to 16 का सजेशन दिया है, बट आई थिंक मोर कैन बी डन डेफिनेटली.
ठीक है. Right.
So this was a selection का game. This paper was nothing but selection. All 3 sections.
To summarize, easier compared to 2023, right? We in all the 3 sections. Only change in VARC that we see is parajumbles have been knocked off and replaced by para-completion, right? Same number of questions, no other change. DILR, we have got 5 sets, just like the sample paper. Of course, sample paper had one 6 question and one 2 question, but in this case, we have had 3 sets of 4 questions, 2 sets of 5 questions, and you will see that 2 of these 4 question sets were found to be pretty easy. So anything beyond that is something that you should try to get to, depending on what is your level of difficulty. If somebody is extremely comfortable, maybe the 4th set is possible in this. Right? Then as far as quant is concerned, compared to last year, much easier. The focus on algebra has gone down. Arithmetic is around 10 questions. So almost 45-50% of the paper is arithmetic. And there's not too many questions of geometry. There are only about 3 questions of geometry, the things that you normally run away from. Algebra is also very moderate. There are only about 3 or 4 questions in the entire paper which were tough, right? Maybe it makes you think a lot, right? Otherwise, I think for very good people, 17, 18 is on the cards. For people who are just comfortable with quant, I think there are 8 to 9 questions definitely there on the platter for you to choose from. So this is the thing. Any additions, Sazil?
Not really. I think what we'll do is next we'll meet you at 12 o'clock also with a detailed analysis with a couple of more of us. So that's going to happen.
Chalo guys, I think both the time, I mean, don't spend too much time watching this. You got the idea, right? I think it's good to relax now and
or load mat lena. I mean, jaisa hoga, it's going to be a cakewalk. So go with a good mind, and yeah. So all the best.
Yeah, Michael, 99 percentile, definitely it will touch the 90s this year.
Yeah, possible. Yeah.
Chalo guys, bye. We'll get back to you with detailed analysis at 12 o'clock.
Bye bye.